boop, 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 going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Welcome, everybody. It is Good Friday, so blessings out to you all, and happy Easter. Boy, okay, we need to sit down and have a chat with everybody right now, and I hope you guys can spread the word, let people know. And it's funny because I've come from a like somewhat I guess spiritual, and then I started doing predictions and went down a crazy this crazy hey Tanya rabbit hole. And I'm down in the rabbit hole. And the one thing we got Mars. Okay, let's look at the astrology a bit because the astrology doesn't lie. So we have Mars in Pisces. We have Jupiter and Neptune ending their conjunction, and after the full moon tomorrow, it's going to be, we're not going to have this. And, again, it is an expansive one. We do have Saturn squaring the nodes, which are in Taurus and Scorpio. So there is this expansion, this energy that's coming in to have us really look at the direction of where we're going and what we're doing. And looking at the direction of where we're going, and having a set course and going with that set course, and to being honest with self, being honest and truthful with self, and allowing yourself to make those adjustments along the way is so important. And this is where we can get focused a lot on the outside world, or focused on other things or other people, and all of that, and we can get really sidetracked with things. And this is where we have to start to come into this movement, come into this place of where we have to start looking at what's going on in the world, what's going on in my world, what's happening in my world. And it is important for us to look at that. And one of the things within the new spiritual community that I kind of fell into, and it was, trusting, trusting God, trust in the divine. He always provides. Don't worry about things. You can manifest it all, and you could just, things are all going to come together for you. Don't worry. Um, you know, it was almost where a false narrative has been given to people for a very long time. And this false narrative of the spiritual world, to me, is um, the false lights that have come into the world and really got many of us onto um, into a place where, into a belief system. And now we're at a place where we have to find that true light, that trueness within ourselves, and come up through the cracks. And part of that is understanding about the world. A lot within the spiritual community, they don't worry about the mundane world, the muggle world and stuff like that. You got to focus on your spirituality. Yes, you got to focus on that, but we have to learn how to merge the two. Merging your spiritual life with your day-to-day life, merging how you do your walk, how you interact within your life is part of your spiritual life. It is not just something that is separate. It has to be something that is together in oneness. And that's really where, with Mars coming into Pisces, I feel like this is going to be a time that we really have to trust our inner light and our knowingness along our road. We have to merge the two. And it's important. And especially with Mercury coming close to Uranus. And as Uranus is, going through Taurus, we're seeing a lot of those disruptions that I've talked about before, where crazy snowstorms, yes, we do have them every spring, but they seem to be more frequent. We're going to be seeing, more droughts, more, flooding and things like that that we haven't seen before. The other thing too is like, as I was looking through some things, and I know my girlfriend mentioned it to me a while ago about the bird flu. And I was like, okay, there's something up with that. And now it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You're hearing about the bird flu. And they're doing PCR tests on poultry. And if they find a result, then all of the birds are killed. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Right now in the United States, they have killed 11 million chickens and 2 million turkeys. Now, this is worse than what it was in the pandemic, what we are stepping into. And we have to look at that. And this is where the spirituality and the mundane come together, where we really have to trust our living on the edge, which is important to understand what that living on the edge and that um, stepping out of the norm means. We have lived in many of us, or even within, many children have lived in a very sheltered environment. Not many people just let their kids go out and run and just go. My in the morning, I take Mateus to school. Now I take him to school and I make sure I get there right when the bell rings, and because we're not that far away. And he hops out of the car and I say goodbye and he runs into the school. There's where most parents, they have to go out and they walk him up to the door. I guess maybe because I feel like he's my fifth child, so it's like, just, you're fine, have a great day. Giving him that little bit of freedom of saying, yeah, you could get there, it's not that far. Even when we walk, to school and stuff like that, it's like he wants, once we hit the field and he runs ahead and stuff like that, and he's like, bye, mama. And I'm like, okay, bye bye. Go line up with your friends. You know what to do. And then off I go. It's, I guess that's living on the edge for some parents nowadays. And then trusting in that, of allowing, that set of freedom, figuring things out kind of thing. And here we are as adults that we are living on the edge. And there's where a lot is coming in, a lot of crisis and a lot of things that have been coming in that I was talking about 2 years ago that we're going to start really feeling now. And a lot of things that I mentioned before are going to we're going to start really seeing the effects of it all. One was the south node in Sagittarius. When the south node was in Sagittarius, it was about immigration. Like, it has to do with immigrations, flights, people moving and stuff like that, and travel. Well, we didn't see really the effects of it, but now we're going to start seeing the effects even more of what it means with the immigration. Not so much about the family and the mothers and the children coming in, but when others are starting to come in, and the new crime waves that we're going to start to be seeing. And they're already seeing the effects in the UK, because there 1,000 people a day are landing in the UK. Now, England is an island. Sometimes we forget that. It's not that big. It's not that big. And so now what they are going to be doing with the immigrants there, they're going to be sending them to Rwanda. Now, if you don't know where Rwanda is, it is in the middle of the middle of Africa. And they're going to be sending them there with a one-way ticket. It's just totally insane, because I guess they need people there in Rwanda. So that's one thing. So we have we're going to be seeing crazy immigration starting to come in, not only within, European countries, but over here um, in North America. Now, in the States, they're having the immigration coming in, and it's through their south border, but it's not only people from Mexico and parts of South America. They have people that actually have been flown over there from other countries, have flown people into Mexico to cross the southern border to come to the United States. So it's interesting how we're seeing this cycle of, well, we don't want them, let's fly them here, and then they can take care of these people. So we're seeing mass immigration. We're seeing this migration of change that is happening. That's one thing. The next thing with this with this chickens and turkeys, this bird flu is really taking off. And where we are going to be seeing with eggs and chickens, and we are going to be seeing a huge increase and lacking of those items. So you're going to soon see that there isn't going to be chicken. There isn't going to be a lot of that. Now, um, and you're going to see a price increase. And they're looking at a price increase of just eggs. So if you pay $8 or $9 for 30 eggs, you're going to see that they're going to be costing anywhere from $18 to $20 for 30 eggs. The price of chicken is going up. Now, we also have with oil and paper products, the prices are going to be going up, and the lack of too. Now, I mentioned a few months ago about, the lack of paper. There's not very much paper. That's why they're, for printing books and stuff, they can't get the paper. They can't get the product. And for instance, Sri Lanka, they just defaulted on their loans, and you might not think that's a big thing, but it's huge. They were having all their exams in the school were canceled because they had no paper for the kids to write on. So exams were canceled because there is a shortage of paper. And so those little things, they start to trickle in one place, and you sort of ignore it, and you think oh, well, that has nothing to do with me. And then you're like, holy shit, I can't find paper. I can't, find certain things, right? So this is where you're going to be seeing the increase. Now, the other things that are going to be increasing is soybeans, and a lot of things are made from soybeans. Not only vegan food and stuff, but there's an increase of over 38% with soybeans. Sunflower oil is an increase of 66%, corn 64%, and wheat 63% of an increase. And this is beginning now. Now, what does that have to do with spiritual work? What does that have to do with the planets? Well, the planets have been warning us that it's time to prepare, time to go forward, time to get things going. This is time for gardening, and I know you guys have heard me over and over and over and over again saying this, but it's if you can grow a garden, if you can do go on YouTube, start learning things on YouTube about gardening. TikTok has some really great videos, and a lot of the people who are doing them on TikTok have a YouTube channel that you can follow, and they can show you and teach you how, easy, free. There it is. This is where, we're finding that even in Kazakhstan, and which is kind of where the wheat, they're stopping stopping the export of wheat. And they also have really, like, uranium and other minerals that are utilized in making many of the products that we use today. So this is where this change, we feel like, it's like I was listening to the radio this morning. My husband and I had to go on a journey today to his sister's house, and as we're going, it was they were talking about, oh yes, everybody was back to the office downtown, and everybody's back to the office. I don't think that's going to last long. People aren't going to be in the offices downtown for very long. They're It's going to be too cost. It'll be the cost of having to keep it up when they're already asking people to turn down their heat so that they don't have to do any energy rationing. Now, this might be in the UK and different places, but this is going to come here to Canada as well, because even though we are a gas and oil, you know we have it, it's in our backyard, um, but it's that refining, it's that, getting it and utilizing it and putting it to use in our own country is very vital. That's going to be very vital. So you're going to hear people of things, like little ads are probably going to start coming out, little cutesy ad, turn your heat down, put on a sweater, da da da, I think they had them in the 70s if I'm not mistaken. And dress, you don't have to have the heat up to like 21 degrees Celsius, which is 70. They want you to put your heat down to 19 degrees Celsius, which is 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So they're wanting you to turn the heat down in your home and wear extra sweaters. And that's what you're going to see. Maybe not so much as we're coming into the summer months, we're coming into spring. Yes, the snow will melt. Yes, it'll melt. And spring will be here and summer will be here. And we're going to be in the hot days of summer. And no one's going to be thinking about their utility bill at that time. But then you're going to slowly start seeing ads coming up in August and September that's telling you to wear extra sweaters. So these little things are going to start coming in for us and telling us these things. And then we're going to start seeing food rationing. And I can see the food rationing happening by the fall. Because right now big and I you know s- big prepping companies are now with the freezer dried food can't get food. They can't get the material for the food. So this is like food that they package up for, like they have a shelf life of 20 years and shit like that. They can't get the chicken. Now, if the prepper community can't get the food, what does that mean for us? Like, for a lot of people who are not part of the prepping community. So this is a wake up, and I really want people to start making, being aware of it, and understanding that there's only a 3 month supply of food that they have. So the largest supply of food is China. They have a year and a half supply of food. And that's because they've gone through some crazy famine and some other shit in China and stuff. So they have, a stockpile of about a good year and a half of food stockpiled. Um, and you started to see actually at the beginning of the year, the United States government started to stockpile food even more. So they started to really start to do any stockpiling and stuff. And that's, in preparation for things to come. So we have this energy that is saying, you know what, let's go with the flow. It's not to panic, but we got to go with the flow and we got to get ourselves ready. We got to get ourselves prepared. So you got to start listening to your intuition when it says, hey, let's go to the grocery store. And if you have that extra money, that's why I was trying to tell people, if you got an extra $5, extra $10, start buying those extra things. Start stocking up on those extra things. It's going to be invaluable. Like it's going to be something that is definitely going to be needed, whether it's your canned goods or rice and things like that. And I would suggest to go to the real, you know where people who own restaurants, where they shop. So people who own restaurants usually don't go to Costco. They go to, like, here in Canada, they go to the real Canadian wholesale store, because they can get this practically the same prices, if not cheaper, and buy in bulk there as well. And so they can get, their flour, their salt, their sugar, and things along that line there. So it is and I've been seeing a lot of things on canning flour and doing some canning of flour and stuff like that, which has a 3-year shelf life or longer, if I'm not mistaken. So there's different things out there that you can start watching and preparing for, and setting your sails into a direction that says, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm getting myself prepped. I'm getting myself going. I don't have everything all, like, I got a lot of food and stuff. Um, but I am not overly prepped. One, we are, financially, we just we can't. But this is where I know that there are places I can go and that I'll be safe if shit hits the fan and stuff like that. I know that. So I'm pretty safe that way. I'm pretty secure in those manners. So, but this is for us to start getting prepared. And this isn't to scare you, but this is to get you to wake up to what's going on, to wake up to see what's happening in the world. Some of the predictions, I made about things about Biden. Well, they're calling that the election was illegal and a lot of stuff's coming up from the election. Okay, let's see what's happening about that. I know something's going to be happening with Trudeau. They're calling this election that it was illegal, that there were ballots that were not counted. So it's going to be interesting over the next month, especially when it comes to how the governments are run and what's going to be happening with the governments. So we're going to be seeing some things going on with that because that's all part of the process of this change that we're in the energy that's coming in to bring in and for us to really direct ourselves to the truth and the light. And that light and that truth is always within you. It's always within you. And to following that truth and light. Um, Somebody was asking me, and I get a lot of questions afterwards where people message me. So messaged me about, about the bird flu. And, is this going to be worse? Is this, what is this going to be? Because they've already had a transmission of the bird flu to people. And they've already had so-called deaths from it already. And I'm just like, "Oh my gosh. Okay, we're heading down another crazy road." And that's, part of all the changes that we're in, and it's frustrating. And I know it's frustrating for all of you. It's frustrating for me. I know I've been feeling it very much so within my own self and within my own life where I feel we are just getting a handle on things, or we're just, getting in the groove, and things feel very like we're moving, and then we get pulled into a tide pool and we're swirling around in this tide pool and having to move with the pool instead of going against it. But sometimes it feels like it's a never ending swirl of craziness. Are we going to get out of this? And it is that there is, I get that there is a lot of frustration. I get that there is a lot of people feeling overwhelmed at this time. I get it. Especially with with Mars being in, um, now in Pisces and stuff. I mean, Mars is one of my rulers of Scorpio, and it's just like, oh, Pisces. That's where they go. I mean, I love Pisceans, but it's a lot of energy, and it can be very overwhelming, if you are not staying on your course, if you are not staying, towards, yeah, this is what I need to be doing. And even then, you're staying on your course. Life will throw you some crazy curveballs to maybe redirect you in a different way. And trusting in that process of redirection is a hard one, because it's like, well, I wanted to go here. This is what I was praying for. And you've gone into a different road. And I feel for all of us, I feel like we're all coming into new roads within our lives, and it feels very cumbersome. It feels very uneasy, and yet we have to surrender to it, because I know the light is greater. The good this light is greater than that of the dark. There's much darkness that goes out there that looks light or wants to fake the light with everything and pull you into a direction that gets you off your prepping, or gets you off the direction that of what feels good for you. And this is I'm gonna say they're challenging times, but they're also some beautiful, energetic times here for us to really set into you know, um, a positive flow, you know? And hey, I'm going with I'm continually focusing on this positive flow for us right now, and even for on the journey that I'm on right now with my family. It's I gotta say, I have been overwhelmed lately, people, and I have not been able to do as much as I've been wanting to do, especially within the spiritual community. I've been overwhelmed, not necessarily the outside world. I'm just like, yeah, okay, I know there's crazy shit going on, and yeah. But with other things that have been very taxing within my own family, it's it's um it's tough. Let's say that. It's tough. And this toughness is taking you onto a new road, but sometimes you're just like, how much toughness can I go through? Haven't I done this? Can't we just have the easy flow, you know, um, within life? But, this is where it's like, okay, blessing, it's a constant blessing, and it's a constant giving it up to the Holy Spirit, and doing those surrendering. And, this is Good Friday. This is the day of, if you've ever looked at the Stations of the Cross, and the one thing about the story of Christ, the story of Good Friday, is he was the only one who had to, like, who carried his cross. Just think, just I'm just thinking of the burden. I am carrying the cross that they're going to kill me on. I got to carry this burden that they're going to kill me on. I already had one of my best friends betray me and throw me under the bus. And I knew he was going to do that. But I have to embrace the challenge that is before me, and know that I'm going to be trusting in a higher power than myself, that what my actions are doing and what I am doing is going to be for the greater good in the outcome. And that's what, within our own lives, you got to look at the burdens that you are going through, and the things that's happening, and the transformations that are happening in your life. It's like, yeah, you're working on yourself spiritually, and integrating that into your mundane world. But it is the vibrational effects that are going to be helping so many other people that you didn't even know would be helping them. You know, I just, some of you aren't, may not believe in Jesus, or may not like, might not like him. I would say sit down and have a conversation with him. You would really change, because he didn't make the churches. He didn't make the dogma. He didn't make any of that. He just came to bring the love and the transformation and the changes in this world, so that we can live a better life spiritually, a spiritual life, a more of a freedom of spirituality is what coming in forth, and stepping into that freedom of spirituality within our own selves, and allowing for that to flow, and being the Piscean, which was his age, the age of the Pisces, is allowing for that great expansion to come in within our own selves, and allowing that great expansion. Because when we can come into our expansion of our true spiritual selves, and within our soul selves, that's when we can step into such more greatness within, and holding that light, and allowing for the transformations to go forth. So step into your illuminating light. Know that you are very transformational in this world, and you always have been, and you always will be. In amongst the crazy detours that come up, and the ups and the downs, be open to the help, be open to the challenges, and allow for your soul to guide you through this all at this time. So, coffee donations, if you are wanting to donate to my coffee fund, please do. e-transfers or PayPal to the gurumama@gmail.com. Or if you are wanting to book a reading, I'm taking people in mainly on weekends. If you can't get on, I have a few weekends that are open up. And so come on in and contact me. So have a fabulous day. And I want the Lord and the lady to watch over and bless each and every one of you and all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Shine your light, and go on, baby. Go have some chocolate. Yeah, it's chocolate day today. Blessings. Bye bye.